Hi, this is Blair Pleasant. I'm at GENBAND Perspective 17, and I'm with Sacha Gera. He's the Senior VP of Cloud Products for GENBAND. So welcome, Sacha.
Thanks, Blair, for having me.
So tell us about Kandy. What is Kandy? And it's Kandy with a K.
Yeah. So Kandy is essentially our branding for all of our cloud communications portfolio, and we really play in three market segments. We play the over-the-top mobile rich messaging solutions where carriers can create their own WhatsApps. We play in the unified communications market where carriers can create their own Ring Centrals and 8x8s, and we also play in the embedded communication space where carriers and partners can create their own Twilios. So we're a white label infrastructure as a service provider. We don't go direct to enterprises. We play through the carrier as a channel or some select ISVs or value-added resellers. And so Kandy is all powered by a converged real-time communications platform that we've been developing for years. Some of those piece parts were acquired through various acquisitions, and we've come together and opened and unlocked that IPR through APIs and SDKs and built a pile of communication technology on top, enabling these services.
An important part of Kandy is Kandy wrappers. Can you talk about what those are?
Yeah. So, last couple of years with the API economy being really lit up, and obviously we've seen the IPO of Twilio earlier in the year, APIs and the innovation economy is just heating up, and we're seeing, a tremendous traction towards, especially the enterprise space, wanting to develop new applications and embed real-time communications into their business process flows. And so one of the lessons learned we saw this past year is that although that API economy is picking up and that tsunami of enterprise developers is picking up steam, in reality a lot of customers still need point solutions. And most enterprise developers are struggling to start from scratch. The do-it-yourself model, they need to start from a starting point or a quick start. And so Kandy wrappers are really around packaging up the basics of our APIs, our voice, our video, our screen sharing, file transfer, those types of capabilities, putting a little bit of JavaScript code around it, and basically offering a point solution that can be white labeled and resold, a pre-canned turnkey solution, and easily customizable, extendable, etc. from a system integrator or even an enterprise developer.
And you have a few of those Kandy wrappers. There's Live Attendant.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the others?
So we got Visual Attendant, which is kind of the basic, your visual call tree or IVR with a click-to-call capability. You can provision it very dynamically with a drag and drop kind of front end on the web. And all the enterprise really needs to do is copy and paste a line of JavaScript code into their HTML web page or their mobile app, and they're ready to go. No programming experience required, and you've got the functions of a CPaaS right there and then. Live support is all about fronting a contact center. And it's catering to the millennials with that same click-to-call functionality where especially that new demographic can connect with the right agent instantly without having to navigate through a cumbersome call tree. And that's good for net promoter scores, but it's also catering to the fact that the new generation is often coming in through messaging services like Facebook Messenger or Twitter. And today agents often have 5 different screens open, and so through our messaging Kandy platform we're able to consolidate that and make it very easy on the agent, having one window to respond back no matter what the messaging service is, as well as we offer the capability to escalate into different modalities of communication from not just messaging but into video and into screen sharing or something else to help solve that ticket. And with the advent of digital cognitive agents and bots, it's becoming even more compelling. So.
The question I'm sure you get asked all the time, how is Kandy different from Twilio?
Yeah, it's a great question. I probably would have answered that question differently 18 months ago than I will now. When we started Kandy, especially in the embedded communication space, like Twilio, we were after the developer community. We had a Kandy bus going around, we were doing hackathons, and we realized that wasn't really our real core area that we wanted to focus in on. Predominantly GENBAND's roots, which obviously is the broader parent company of Kandy, it's really in the carriers and the ISVs and the value-added reseller channels. And so Kandy has evolved into basically being a white label infrastructure as a service provider where we, I call it being the arms dealer. We're in the business of helping others create their own Twilios as opposed to being a competitor to the carriers themselves, which Twilio is. They're essentially a wholesaler at this point. So we don't actually consider Twilio a competitor at this point. We're in the business of creating like 1,000 Twilios. Yeah.
Switching gears a little bit, you also are responsible for Kandy Business Solution Smart Office.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Smart Office.
Yeah, so Smart Office is the evolution of our unified communications client, and it's a soft client on your desktop and your mobile. And the really cool thing about Smart Office, I mean, it's got all your typical features of your your dial pad, your messaging, your presence, your Active Directory, all those kinds of things. But what we've really done the last couple of years is really taken it 2 steps forward, and we really started to integrate the concept of CPaaS into that Smart Office UC Collab experience. So you can do things like actually embed Kandy wrappers like your visual attendant right into the Smart Office instantly without having to recompile the app. And it's based on the premise of both CPaaS, but it's also a web-based container. So we didn't go the route of a binary app where every time I got to change the color or the branding, I got to add a couple of new widgets or features. Normally you'd have to go and recompile that long testing cycle. Given that it's a web-based container, we're able to do things dynamically, so CIOs can actually go and change their app every day, kind of like Google changes their search engine. And so Smart Office is enabling that CPaaS and that dynamic brandability and customization that CIOs and IT professionals want.
So is that aimed at your carrier partners or directly to enterprises?
So again, we don't deal with enterprises directly. It's always through a channel, and typically the carrier is the channel en route to the enterprise. In some cases, we do have some value-added resellers. Like in Canada, we have Tellogics, we have IntelliFlex, we have about more than 40 of these partners, and so they're always white labeling the Smart Office, and then typically there's another step of branding for the direct enterprise after that. So.
And yesterday I read that GENBAND announced that the Los Angeles Public Library is using Smart Office. How are they using that?
Yeah, we're really excited about the opportunities with the municipalities here in the city of LA, and they're going to be running off of our Unified Communications as a Service platform. And so the libraries will be using our Smart Office desktop and mobile clients for the communications needs hosted off of our Kandy UC platform, and they're going to have the capability of dial pad and messaging, as well as some other interesting capabilities, such as we're all a little fearful of security incidents that happen, and one of the capabilities we're going to have is this notification if there happens to be an active shooter on premise, where they can send that notification out using the client and to the hard phones as well. The Polycom phones, we're going to have that capability as well. So it's pretty, it's pretty amazing. There's 72 libraries out. Los Angeles is such a huge city, and we hope that's the start of a much more fruitful relationship. So.
Okay, and last question: what would you like your carrier partners to walk away from this conference knowing?
I think it's that we are an enabling partner. We're not your competitor. We are in the white label infrastructure as a service business, and think of ourselves as your arms dealer. And so if you're looking to get into the digital era, compete more effectively with the over-the-tops who are trying to eat your lunch, the Microsoft Skype for Businesses, the WhatsApps of the world, the Twilios, we're the folks that I think can help you cross that chasm and play in this digital era so you don't end up in the digital junkyard.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.